Now we continue with our use cases in the next slot as well as in the slots that follow. Now, the next use case is basically a collaboration between Fivetran and Malt. And it will show how Malt has used data science and AI technologies to save 70% of time resources. And it's a practical use case, and I'm very happy to have here two experts who will guide us through this use case. We have Alexander Zipp, who is the commercial lead at Fivetran, and we have Olivier Girardot. I'm sorry, I think I mispronounced your name. He's the head of data at Malt. Thank you very much. It's great to have you here, and looking forward to your use case.
Thank you very much for having us. Hope you can all hear me.
Yeah.
Servus, grüß Gott from Munich. As you already said, my name is Alexander. I lead the Fivetran team here at Munich, and we're currently serving around 80 customers in the DACH region, so Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And I'm pretty sure when we talk about data, what you'll always hear is data is the new oil, or data is like electricity, the new water. And I guess it's commonly agreed that being able to run your business on data is somehow related to future growth and of a lot of importance. Still, getting your data into your data warehouse and then being able to run business intelligence can be tricky, can be a challenge. But then at the same time, with new technology, like, for example, Fivetran, the challenge can become much smoother or easier. And for this session, we said instead of someone from Fivetran telling you how that could work, it makes much more sense to have one of our dearest customers to talk about it. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Olivier, who will talk about the use case that is happening between our customer Malt and Fivetran. Thanks, Olivier.
Thank you, Alexander. So we're going to be talking about how Malt is actually using automated data integration to grow their business. So regarding me, I've been a big data architect as a freelancer for the last 8 years. I've built multiple cloud data platforms for companies like the French Postal Services Group or Savenza. And I started in 2019 to help Malt become a more data-driven company as the head of data. So where is Malt? Malt is actually the leading end-to-end digitized freelance platform in Europe. We are connecting companies of all sizes with highly skilled freelancers from IT and different sectors. We are in Spain, Germany, and French-speaking countries, let's say. We have more than 200,000 freelancers and more than 30,000 clients. And the latest series in terms of funding was about 32 million euros. We are a local B2B marketplace. We are not trying to make people compete from all over the part of the world. Clients can go on our platform and find locally based freelancers that can move to their city, can move to their office using our self-service search engine. We have a huge data set of data and data needs regarding matchmaking and growth. We are using this data to deliver the best experience in terms of search engine and in terms of matching freelancer profile data with client projects. We have a huge demand. We are a scale-up, so we have a huge demand in marketing strategy to be able to have supply and demand insights, to be able to monitor our spendings and continuously monitor our return on investments regarding those spendings. We are also a freelance management system. That's to say that clients can use our platform to oversee and manage all of their projects, their bills and contracts, their payments. They need to be able to see their data in real times. And we also have a huge data-driven culture in terms of products, because our product is continuously monitored in order to gather statistics regarding whether sales or user experience to be able to provide a seamless digital workflow. So the state of 2019 was, well, not exactly far, but not perfect considering those objectives. We were, and we still are, a data-driven organization in the making. We had a lot of AI initiatives, but we're not relying on a proper basis to be able to collect, transform, and aggregate everything that we did. At Malt, we add a lot of data sources, but we have basically raw or uncleaned or operational data sets. That's to say that the production databases were using that, and that was the main goal of these data sets. We had no way to capitalize or build certified clean data set to build upon afterward. So we had a data science team and data analysts, but they always had long projects or, well, quite a low productivity regarding what they could have achieved if they had a proper foundation. We needed to build a data platform. What we mean by a data platform is something more analytical oriented, like providing self-service business intelligence, providing a way to train and serve prediction algorithms using data science progress, and providing insights easily accessible to data analysts from whether product, sales, or marketing. We had a team of 2 data scientists, 3 data analysts, and 2 data engineers, myself included. So the challenge was to build this kind of data heritage as a scale-up company. We could not spend too much time or too much resources on it because everything apart from the core business had to take low priority. We needed fast execution because we don't want long-standing projects to take up too much time. We needed execution power to not use too much time of our internal team resources. Minimal monitoring and oversight, because basically when you have 2 data engineers, well, you cannot spend 50% of your time fixing bugs and while trying to get off the ground the rest of the platform. We wanted to also leverage quite quickly untapped resources. That's to say resources that we did not have access to. We have the production databases, but we did not have every data set that was related to marketing data, for example, or navigation data, or Salesforce, or other data sets like that. And we needed to stick to ensuring our data security for all of the data of our users. So our first draft was to build our own ingestion pipeline using Apache Spark and change the data capture for our production databases through Apache Kafka, and using Google BigQuery as our single source of truth in order for everyone to have access to this data. But the thing is that we had more than 200 MongoDB collections that needed mapping manually because we don't have a clear schema for those tables. We had more than 100 SQL tables, and some datasets were even larger than 300 gigabytes, which meant that the initial sync and monitoring was needed to be like gradually monitored and gradually ingested, and took up too much time. In addition to that, the wow effect that we wanted from all the third-party datasets, well, needed to be coded into extracting data from APIs and ingested into the data platform. So we talked with Fivetran to overcome some of our limitations. The solution was basically automated data integration, as you can guess. But Fivetran provided us in 5 days with all the data we needed and more. And it changed a lot. It changed a lot in our mindsets, because when you need to ingest all of the data from third parties, where basically you're trying to pick and choose. You're trying to say, what do I need to harvest? Well, basically it changed our mindset from what do I need to harvest to what is currently available in the data lake and can be leveraged for maximum impact, because there's something that you know you need, and there's something that you discover you have. It took us 5 days. And I'm not sugarcoating that in saying that it got us in 5 days more than we could have done in months, while still protecting our promises of data protection and keeping data in the European Union. It freed us in terms of timing to deliver key projects. We managed to get the data-driven marketing off the ground, better focusing and analyzing our acquisition channels, because no data effectively meant that we were flying blind. We improved the product data analysis, improving constantly the user experience, fixing bugs before they were reported by our users. And we have more than 8.5 terabytes of actionable data, with basically a project that took us way in the scale of 3 months to go live, with a data platform that delivered something that mattered. In terms of where we stand now into the data science hierarchy of needs, well, we are much closer to building a foundation, being able to have simple ML algorithms and capitalize on our data. We basically used all of these data sets to power our new search engine and our new matching algorithm called, on your matching product called Malt+, that basically matches freelancers and clients with their projects using natural language processing and with performance in mind. We also have off the ground a fraud detection program to better identify our scammers, spammers, and bypassers to improve the service quality across the board on Malt. Thank you for your time.
So I guess this is the moment when we can open up the floor to questions. Before the questions come up, I quickly wanted to mention we have another slot at 2:10, so 2 o'clock, 10 minutes, a live demo of the product. So parts of what Olivier just described, my colleague Kevin will show in a demo where he's going to take multiple different sources and pretty much connects them to a data warehouse and shows how data can be integrated, fully automated. And with that, we're more than happy to answer some questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That was really a very interesting hands-on use case. And I also encourage our audience to attend the workshop. These workshops are really great to, to learn how to implement things and do things in practice. I have a question that goes beyond this specific use case, and that is, it pertains to the, challenges companies face when they try to implement data science, big data, AI technologies. So are there, certain lessons that you would draw from your experience and maybe recommendations that you would like to give to other companies?
Well, yes. A few key subjects. Data needs to come first. That's to say that you can get off the ground with simple use cases based on very production-oriented data quite quickly. But the thing is that you're not building a foundation to last. You're building projects that are going to be ad hoc, that are going to be working in a specific use case, but you're not building what I was calling a data heritage. That's to say something that when you spend the first effort to get something off the ground, you're actually making it easier to get the second project off the ground. That's something that is clearly understated in a lot of processes, in a lot of organization. We tend to think that we need to focus on data science projects first. Most of the time, the plumbing is basically what takes up the most time and what you'll be building upon. So we should not underestimate that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, and I think it's introducing data science projects into companies, especially if they are not in the business of data science and not in the business of AI, is always a big challenge. And one of the challenges is taking people on board, people working in those companies, especially if it's a larger company, it's a traditional company that doesn't have any tradition using AI and data science. What are the biggest obstacles that you think those companies face? Internal obstacles? Is it like the mindset, the culture, the management, financial obstacles, constraints?
There are a few obstacles. I just answer what main point, and then I'll let you go on explain more. There are one obstacle that we need to take into account is the mindset obstacle. Of course, we know that most of the time a human is going to be more efficient, not exactly more efficient, but more effective in identifying what is the correct answer. But in order to scale, we need to be aware that we need algorithms to be able to learn. We need to understand that this kind of AI-based organizations takes time in terms of mindset to adapt and to be more error-oriented but see that in the grand scheme of things, This is going to make the company better. This is going to make people's lives within the company better and people's work way more easier so that they can focus on what they can do best and leverage the scale that we can get from data, from algorithms, out of the way of the day-to-day jobs of people. And that's a mindset that is difficult to actually overcome and needs to be more addressed in, I would almost say in a one-to-one fashion, I mean, in a human fashion. Alexander, go ahead.
Alexander, yeah, please.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It's a transformative process. And I'd say, especially if you look at Europe, like the transformation towards becoming more digital, it's not just on the data front. It's a lot of things, especially during COVID, you could have seen where the gaps are. And it starts, of course, with people adapting to it. There needs to be a certain trust also established. And there's one saying around data is only trust the statistics that you faked. And I guess it speaks a bit to how we've understood statistics and reportings in the past. But technology, again, is now moving us into a new area where we should build an ecosystem where data can be trusted because it's properly set up. But then the next level will be, given that we have that valuable data, how can it transform our duties, how we understand our everyday work and what's possible with it? So I would encourage everyone to be much more open-minded around the potential and the possibility that comes with this transformation, instead of, let's say, focusing on only the risks that is associated with it.
Right, you're right. I mean, I think one specific challenge is that you cannot order AI or ML or data science as a product on Amazon. You have to build it for to solve a very specific problem. To work in a very specific setting. And from my experience, what really helps at having use cases, similar use cases for people who work also in the same industry. So you're right, the mindset, I think the mindset is extremely important, and and having an open mind and an open culture and maybe an optimistic and risk-taking attitude is important, but also, having an idea about what you can do with this tool set, and that is data science or artificial intelligence. What do you think? How can people identify use cases for their specific needs?
That's a great question, and I have a great answer for that.
Okay.
The main thing is that we cannot build data initiatives apart from the real day-to-day lives of people.
Right.
You need to have cross-disciplinary teams so that the data science people, the data engineering people, all of those that could provide value with data need to be hands-on, and they need to be hands-on with the people that do the work, because it comes from the bottom, where you can find innovation, where you can find exactly what is painstakingly difficult for people and that you can automate with data. As usual, innovation doesn't come from the fact that someone in an ivory tower decides that this is innovation and this is not. You need to be in contact with reality. And that means that people, data scientists do not or will not, in a perfect fashion, do only data science. They are willingly committing to the work that the team needs, and willingly being able to understand exactly where we could automate. But once again, the mindset becomes once again important, because the people that they share their lives with will have to understand that such a process of automatizing, such a process of leveraging data is not perfect by definition, like people are, and we need to be able to make errors. But yeah, my main point is that data professionals need to be in contact with professionals. That's it, because they will not be able to identify what needs to be taken care of if they don't get in contact with reality.
Yeah, that's true. So I agree with you totally. So thank you very much. That was a very interesting conversation, and as I said before, I encourage you all to go to the workshop and get your hands dirty, as we say, and implement this kind of solutions. So thank you very much, and we will.